Hey, what's up? This is Dan McCabe, and you are listening to the All In Networker podcast. So, in today's episode, I am on day 2 of a 90-day run. So I'm going to give you a recap of that. We're also going to talk about the force of average a little bit, which I am now just starting to re-record this particular episode because the force of average was trying to knock me down. So we'll talk about that too. All right, let's get started. Hey, what's up, everybody? Dan is back, day number 2, every single day for 90 days. Here we go. And going to continue with the consistency and the discipline that it takes to do this 90-day run. So I'll talk about the recap here in a little bit, but before I do, I want to talk about the force of average. I believe I talked about it a few podcasts ago, the last weekly podcast, and I went into it much more in depth because I really got picked up super high last Thursday. Then I got knocked down to the floor with some crazy business stuff that was going on, and it's the life of an entrepreneur. This is not for the faint of heart. I understand why a lot of people can't cut it as entrepreneurs. It's hard. We got to deal with these crazy emotional swings, and over 20 years of hardened entrepreneurship, I've kind of gotten to the point where my emotions don't get too high or too low, but for some reason Thursday, something good happened. It took me super high, and then something bad happened. It took me really low, and I'm like, what's happening to me? Why can't I control this? But anyways, the force of average is a concept I learned from a great sales trainer by the name of Ryan Stewman. He's got a phenomenal podcast. He's really good. When I was first listening to his podcast, it's very direct, to the point. You got to be okay with a little bit of cursing and all that kind of fun stuff. But when I was first listening to it, I wasn't sure I always completely got it. But then I got an opportunity to see him in person. I met him at a mastermind that I was at. And when he gave his keynote speech, I was like blown away. And he's talking about this force of average. And the force of average is what is always trying to bring us back down to our average. In network marketing, a lot of times it's going to be our friends and our family. It's going to be people telling us no. We're going to be riding some kind of high of yes, 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 no. And that one no seems to weigh like 300 pounds. And then we got our friends and family saying, see, we told you this isn't going to work. And they're grabbing at our ankles and trying to rip us back down. So it is our job as entrepreneurs, as people that want to grow, as people that have dreams and have a really big vision, which is why we're talking about this today. It's our job to be able to keep consistently raising our average, getting it higher and higher and higher. So when we get yanked back down to it, it's in a higher spot than where we started it. So day 2, and if you're watching this on video over on the YouTube channel, is called The Force of Average, where we talk about the force of average in the workbook. And the reason we do is because yesterday we talked about the big vision. Why are we doing a 90-day run? So day 2 being the force of average, we want people to understand, and you need to understand, and I need to understand, that if I want to accomplish my big vision, if I want to accomplish everything I talked about yesterday, there's going to be points where the force of average is going to come after me. It's going to come after me hard. And I need to be prepared for it. So we put this in the workbook because we want people to know, this is going to happen. You just need to be able to recognize it so you can fend it off as best as you possibly can. Because it's going to happen. It's not just going to happen once. It's going to happen multiple times throughout the course of a 90-day run. And right now, the force of average that just tried to hinder my evening a little bit was a 4-year-old. I was 4 or 5 minutes into recording this podcast, and if you've ever watched me record or we've ever done an interview or anything together, I'm kind of a one-take wonder. I just kind of go, talk, it is what it is, throw it out there, and I don't handle interruptions very well. But the 4-year-old came running in fast, crank, open the door, and then just looks at me, cute as can be. Daddy, can I have a drink? And I'm like, really? Force of average. Just sucked 4 minutes out of my life. Anyways, we got him a beverage. So we talked about that today, and just to enhance and make people aware that's going to happen. That's why I like going through this workbook. Even though I wrote the workbook, I like going through the workbook because it's just really, really good reminders. It's just little bite-sized things every single day. So today was okay. I'm getting through it and I'm doing the things. And I can do that. And I understand that that's going to be part of it up front until I start gaining real momentum within this 90-day run. That's going to be what it is. I want to get to momentum as fast as humanly possible. Part of the crazy stuff that happened to me last Thursday, the really big highs and the really big lows, they're also both really big time sucks. And The really big high was an offer I had to build something for somebody that was just frankly right in my wheelhouse. And I'm like, oh, jeez, I'm about to do this 90-day run. I don't know if I can do this, but it was just super cool. And I'm like, so I've got that somewhat hanging over my head because I still haven't made a 100% decision on it. It could lead to so many more sales within the 90-day run is part of it, but it created a little chaos in my life. So I need to deal with that, and I'm trying to just work through that, do the 90-day run through that while I figure that out. So I had 2 pretty good meetings today. Both went really well. One was essentially a save of an old networker that I used to work with, and just getting them back in and up and running, and I think that's going to work out just fine. The other one was a much bigger fish, so to speak, and that one's going to be a longer process, but it was a really good meeting, and I was excited about it, and I'm pretty happy with it for all practical purposes. The personal development exercise I need to do, I am again doing after this call. Fortunately, here in my house, about 40 feet that way, I got my gym set up, so I should be good. It's not a whole gym, but we got a treadmill and we got a pretty good weight rack and plenty of stuff to do to get active and get the muscles moving. So I'm gonna do a decent workout tonight because tomorrow I plan on going to the climbing gym for my workout, and I don't want to get too burnt out today because then it makes the climbing gym really, really, really hard, which is okay, but just different muscles. So that's kind of the big stuff for today. The force of average, it's going to keep knocking you down over and over again. And you just need to be able to fight through it. That's part of entrepreneurship. That's part of the game. If it was easy, everyone would do it. And when you get into network marketing, they always make it sound so easy during that first presentation. When you show up to the conference room in the back of a Holiday Inn, you're leaving there, you're already like flipping through the yacht website trying to pick out what yacht you're going to buy when you hit the top rank in the company. But we all know that it's a little bit harder than that. And along that journey, there's going to be a lot of obstacles in the way. Keep pushing through it. So I talked to a guy here in the last couple of days. He's been in the same company for 30 years. 30 years, same company, just consistent every single month, getting the paycheck. And he's living the life now that that a lot of us are thinking about. He's had the life. He's had the life for 20 plus years. So you just got to get out there. You got to do it. And maybe if your force of average is trying to yank you back down and you're having trouble getting your average bar raised, start looking at some other people's averages, and maybe that's what you need to aspire to. So, all right. With that being said, I'm looking forward to getting back after it here tomorrow being Monday, and we're going to talk about habits, which is really what we're trying to build here. I'm not going to get into it now because we'll talk about it tomorrow. So appreciate you guys for tuning in. Appreciate you for joining me on this journey. If you want to communicate with me or get in touch with me, just go to the One Big Vision Facebook group. That is kind of the only place I'm going to be interacting with people as we get that group up and running and bigger. You can also watch this if you're listening to it on iTunes or any podcast platform. You can go to YouTube and you can watch the video of this, or if you're on YouTube, we've got it on podcast as well, so you can watch it when you're driving to work in the morning or whatever it is that you're doing. So a lot of different ways to get a hold of us. Appreciate you guys as always as I build this out and give you the front row seat. All right, talk to you soon. Thanks a lot.